Most businesses fail, and you've all seen these stats, the amount of businesses that aren't around after 10 years. It is nuts, but not all of them fail. And the ones that don't actually do have something very specific in common. So I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to do it all in this video here. I'm going to show you 6 business ideas with some of the lowest failure rates on record, backed by actual data as well, by the way, because I don't like bullshit, I don't like fluffing around. But more importantly, I'm going to tell you why they survive where other ones don't, basically, so that ultimately you can try and steal that logic and apply it to whatever it is that you're building. Now, I get petrified of seeing these stats. It's a ridiculous number that actually fail, and nobody calls it out, right? Everyone tells you to start a business and live the Instagram lifestyle, but this failure rate is ridiculous, and it's not random. It might feel random, especially if you're in it at the time, but when you've quit your job and you've got more money going out than you've got coming in, your leads aren't coming in, and then your partner's starting to give you that look from across the dinner table because she's paying the mortgage, none of it's random. It's predictable. And the businesses that fail the fastest, they tend to share a few trends and a few things. They are, high startup costs, they're complex operations, it's revenue that depends entirely on the founder being in the room, and it's problems that lots of small, medium-sized businesses have all the time. Now, look, I'm not here to tell you that your idea is a bad idea. I'm here to show you what type of businesses are out there that actually survive, because there's a pattern, and once you see the pattern, you just can't unsee it. Where have I got this from? Look, I own another company. My company's called Spore Group, been doing it for over a decade. We manage AV, meeting room, video conferencing technology solutions. We've got over 1,500 sites that we look after, enterprise-size clients across the UK, Europe, APAC. And I've also built coaching businesses to help founders stop being the bottleneck in their business. So what I'm telling you here is not theoretical. I live it. I still own Spore Group. I've been in these meetings.
I played these games before.
I've sat on the other side of the table within these meetings. I still operate Spore Group. This video stuff is just what I do as part of that process. Right, let's get into it. Enough of me waffling on. We'll talk about number one, right? The number one business is a service business with recurring contracts. Now, according to Statistic Brain, service businesses with locked-in retainers or subscription models have a 5-year survival rate, which is nearly double that of any kind of product business. Nearly double. So the reason is, it's boring, right? It's beautiful, and it's, it's the same. It's predictable. It's revenue that always comes in, but it's boring. When you know what's coming in next month, you can plan, you can hire, you can invest. When you don't know what's coming in, you don't have a clue what's happening. You're just surviving gaps between invoices, basically. This is where Spore sits. Spore are we're a project-based business on AV install, meeting room technology installations, but we have managed service contracts, and that's been the single biggest shift that we made. Same industry, same team, slightly different business model in that we're doing recurring revenue stuff with our service contract. Now, the minute we had monthly recurring revenue, we could actually start building something instead of chasing the next job all the time. Now, you're a founder and you recognize that, and you're doing project-based work, quoting, winning, delivering, quoting again, winning again, delivering again, then you're just on a treadmill. So just think about the smartest thing that you can do to figure out how to move this business is looking at what retainers you can do. Is it maintenance, monitoring, reporting, anything that keeps the relationship alive past the project invoice? Number 2 then is businesses that solve a problem that people can't ignore. This sounds obvious, right? It's not that obvious. Most businesses solve nice to have problems. The ones that actually survive and thrive are the ones that they solve problems that people can't ignore. It's an issue and it needs fixing straight away. Now imagine healthcare, for example, accounting, IT support, pest control, waste management. These aren't sexy businesses. Nobody's putting these on the vision board and saying, I want to be an owner of a pest control company. But they have survival rates north of 80% consistently, because when the problem exists, somebody needs to solve it. The question you've got to ask yourself is, if I disappeared tomorrow, would my clients actually be in trouble? Or would somebody else just have that slot filled by Thursday? If the answer to that question is it'll be filled by Thursday, then that's a positioning problem, not a product problem. You need to become a company in a category of one, basically. The person that can't be replaced. That's a whole separate conversation. It's something we can talk about offline as well. But the business that actually delivers that, they're the ones that don't go away. Number 3 then, the third thing is franchise models. Right, I've been down this route. Bear with me, right? Specifically service franchises. Don't zone out for a moment.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Because franchises sound boring, but just hear me out for a second. According to the British Franchise Association, franchise businesses in the UK have a failure rate of under 5% in the first 5 years. Under 5%, right? Bear in mind some of the data I've already shared with you. Compare that to the independent startups where you're looking at 60% gone by year 5. Why is that? Well, it's because you're buying a proven system. The system has been created. The marketing has been tested. The operations manual exists. The pricing model works. You're not figuring it out from scratch, failing and trying to do it again. You're executing somebody's blueprint that has already worked. It's already working at scale and you're just executing it. The caveat though is this. You're also buying somebody else's ceiling. Franchisees, or franchises rather, they reward excellent operators. They don't reward visionary entrepreneurs. And if you want to build something original, then this isn't your path. But if you want to build a business that runs, that pays you, it doesn't eat you alive, then the data says that this is one of the safest bets you can actually go for. And by the way, whilst I'm on the subject of safe bets, none of this actually matters. None of this business stuff works if you don't have, you could have the brightest, shiniest whiz bang thing on the planet, right? But none of it works if people don't know you exist. It's why I put together this lead generation framework, which we use to build our pipeline within Spore Group. It's 5 really, really simple steps. Check it out, put the link in the description below. Generate all your leads basically on autopilot. Just following 5 steps, you can have it set up and running within 30 days. We did it with Spore, game changer. Fourth business then, B2B businesses with long sales cycles and high switching costs, right? Listen to what I mean by this. This one sounds a bit counterintuitive because long sales cycles sound painful when you're trying to sell. 6-month deal is painful. 18-month procurement processes is brutal. Frameworks, nightmare. But once you're in, you're in. And the high switching costs from the supplier, from the client side of things, means that your clients don't leave easily because they're integrated with your product and with your service and they know how you work, and it takes 18 months for a framework to come through to get another supplier onboarded. The pain of replacing you is greater than the pain of actually just paying you. Now that's a really nice position to be in. It's another position that Spore lives. Enterprise AV, managed services. The sales cycle is long. The decision involves multiple stakeholders. And the decision is final. A meeting room is a meeting room, and that's everybody sees it. A client's meeting room estate isn't going anywhere quickly, and that's the stability that Spore have when we're delivering all of our projects. It's worth every single painful sales conversation that's 6 months long or 8 months long. But if you're building a B2B business, the question isn't just can I win the deal? The question is how painful is it for them to leave? Now, the answer to that question is, oh, it's not very painful. Then you need to solve that bit before you can start scaling your business. Right, number 5 then, this is the one we just need to be a little bit careful with because you get all the Instagram gurus that all jump up and down about it, but it's e-commerce with a niche, not with a category. So that's the careful bit. General e-commerce has brutal failure rates. Everyone knows it. But the niche e-commerce, it's businesses that own a specific underserved segment. That tells a slightly different story. That's businesses that dominate a niche, a very small niche, rather than trying to compete across a whole category. They're the ones that consistently outperform on margins, on retention, and on survival because the customer finds you, not the other way around. Your marketing is cheaper because it's a niche marketing thing. You're not fighting absolutely everybody. Your repeat return rate is higher because, again, you're the only person in town who's actually doing that specific thing. And the trap that most people fall into is going too broad too fast, right? They want to sell to absolutely everybody. So what happens is they don't sell particularly well to anybody at all. So the key to the e-commerce piece is pick your people, get specific, be weird about it if you have to be weird.
I'm gonna get real weird with it.
The riches really do come in the niches, which is one of those famous sayings. I think Alex Hormozy said it, but I hate it because it sounds like some motivational poster bullshit, which I don't particularly like, but the data backs it up. So that's what it is. Number 6 then, education and coaching businesses, specifically those built on proof, right? This one has a catch again, as the e-commerce one did, and it's a big one, but you've got to stick with me on it. The broader online course market has a catastrophic failure rate because you get YouTube gurus selling bullshit, basically. Most people who launch a course, they make almost nothing. Coaching and education businesses built on demonstrated real-world proof, people who've actually done the thing that they're teaching, they do consistently outperform a really average sector. It's really easy to start a coaching business. It's not so easy to start a coaching business based off of real proof because trust is in the product, and the trust that you gain from actually having done the thing, that compounds. So someone buys from you because they've watched you for 6 months and they've seen your actual business, like Spore Group, my business myself, and they've seen our results. Then they're not buying the information, they're actually buying certainty that that actual thing actually works. Now, that's a very different sell just to seeing some guy who's in a Dubai apartment selling his coaching course. That's ultimately what my coaching piece is, Business Simplified. It's not me teaching business theory. I run Spore Group. My business is Spore Group. It's me showing you the frameworks that we implemented into Spore Group. You can essentially implement them on a Monday morning and have them done by the Friday, and you're running. Now that's the proof. Spore is my case study. They're not just buying something from some idiot in Dubai, basically. So that's it. They're the 6. There's a couple of caveats in there. The e-commerce one's a caveat. The coaching one's a caveat. Be a little bit careful about who you're buying from. But all of that's all great. But there's no point in choosing the right business model if you haven't sorted out the one thing that kills more good businesses than failure rates ever will, and that's the founder being the bottleneck. So I made an entire video on exactly how to fix that, and it's the one that you should watch here. Go check that out. Get out of your business. Don't be the bottleneck. Create the systems. Follow that video. Like, subscribe. See you on the next one.